So you want to know what it's like to live in Tel Aviv during a war? Why don't I just tell you? What's up, guys? My name is Margot. Some of you may know me online as Margot Explains It All. I have been living and working in Tel Aviv, Israel for the past 15 years. I'm a content creator and I work in high tech full time. And I've been planning to start a YouTube channel for a really long time now. I've always dreamt of it, but finally I started to actually take it seriously and script out videos, and I had a whole launch plan this week. But it turns out Iran had a different launch plan, and here we are. Instead of making the videos that I was planning on sharing with you guys this week, I wanted to sit down with you and talk to you about what it's really been like, at least from my perspective, living in Tel Aviv for the past couple of days during this war, and during missiles being launched each and every day for the past 4 days now, I think it is. I lost track. Whatever. But I'm sitting here with my dog Junior. He's right here next to me. Junior. He's such a good boy. I am in Gan Meir, or Meir Park. And, based on the background behind me, you might be thinking, well, that doesn't look like she's living in a war zone. And that would be because it doesn't look like I'm living in a war zone. The sun is out. You may hear the birds chirping. There are children playing. Today is Purim, the Jewish holiday that marks the celebration of the Jewish people being saved from an evil Persian madman who wanted to annihilate the Jews. However many thousands of years since the Purim story, we are still fighting an evil Iranian regime that wants to annihilate the Jewish people and the Iranian people, for that matter. Khamenei is just the modern day Haman, and we took him out a couple days ago. But many of you have been messaging me and asking me, if I'm okay, and this video is kind of my answer. So here I am. Like I said, I'm sitting in a park. The sun is shining. Kids are playing. And I know that this might not look like a war zone, but that's kind of the whole point. Because unfortunately, life doesn't just stop when war breaks out and when missiles are being launched at you. You still have to go to the grocery store and feed your dog and take him out and take care of your children and work, believe it or not.
Get your fucking ass up and work.
You still have to live your life. And you have these moments in between sirens and in between missiles when everything kind of feels normal. And sometimes you even manage to forget what's going on. Maybe you get lost in a thought, or you find a moment where you can get 15 minutes of sleep in a row, which is a miracle these days. And what I really want to try and explain is that life still happens in between those moments between sirens. And then boom, you get a warning on your phone and you're reminded of what's going on, and you start running up and down the stairs to get to the shelter, and that's it. I mean, you go to the shelter and then you're back to whatever you were doing before. And it really is jarring. And just because it kind of looks serene behind me doesn't mean that it isn't scary and terrifying, and that it's not traumatizing. Hi, I'm editing this video and I realized the next clip does contain a audio of a real siren. So wanted to give a little trigger warning before that. Especially if you've been living through this, if you hear that sound, you start to panic. So trigger warning, the next clip contains a siren sound. Yada. Irritable, a lot of us are. We're not getting enough sleep because we're woken up in the middle of the night from sirens and missiles. But there are those beautiful moments, and it doesn't mean that things aren't terrifying or that this is a fun thing to live through, because it isn't. It's not. You just have to find a way to be human despite it all. So let me explain to you what actually happens when a siren goes off. So right now, my friend Lauren and her dog Frida are staying with me. We spend the daytime in my apartment, and we are working from home as best we can. We both work in high tech, so we're at our computers, taking calls and doing our thing, and just trying to maintain some normalcy. So here's what happens. First, the home front command, or the Pikud Ha'oref, will send a warning signal to your phone, basically, and an alert. And your phone goes off and it makes this terrifying sound. I'm not even going to play it for you, because if anyone here is in Israel, they might think that there's actually a siren, and it's actually really, really scary and triggering. And then that means that you have however many minutes, it can kind of depend, but somewhere between 3 and 10 minutes until a siren goes off. That alert means you need to be near a protected space. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll get the warning to our phones, and then we will get the dogs on the leash, put our shoes on, and go across the street. The building across from me has a underground shelter in the building that serves for all the people who live in the building. So that's where I go. Sometimes we'll wait outside for the siren, and then we'll go in and we'll immediately go down into the miklat, which is probably a word you'll hear a lot. Miklat, or public shelter. I'm actually sitting in Gan Meir and filming this here because there is a public shelter here that is right under the dog park. So whenever there's a siren and people are at the park trying to enjoy some fresh air, it's nice, because if you want to take your dogs to the dog park and let them run around, you can do that. And if there's a siren, you can just go into the shelter through there, which happened. I'll insert some footage of that here. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, and even though you get used to it, you can't help but think in the back of your mind subconsciously that every time you hear that, it's a threat to your life, and that, somebody's trying to fucking murder you. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Woo! I'm going through it, bitch. I'm losing my motherfucking medulla.
And then you get to the shelter, and there's couples that have babies and kids, and so at night we keep the lights off, and we have to be really quiet for the babies and the kids, respectfully, of course. And the truth is, like, you're spending a lot of time with strangers. If you're someone like me who really values alone time, it can be a lot. People are strange, and sometimes you just want some peace and quiet, and everybody's in there talking, and it's a lot, and there's dogs and there's babies, and everybody's just trying to do their best. So there's also that. And then we get in there, you can hear the siren outside, and then it usually stops. Sometimes you hear some booms, which is scary as fuck. They're either missiles being intercepted above you or direct hits, which happened a couple nights ago very close by, and we felt the force of the air in the shelter when a missile hit a building here in Tel Aviv, and it was like this loud, like, foom, and you could feel it like in your ears. It's terrifying, to be honest. Luckily, those don't happen that often. Sadly, they do, and unfortunately, people's lives are at risk, and they do lose their lives, and it's terrifying and tragic, and then you wait about 15 minutes until you get the all clear, because you can't just go out when the siren stops, because if there was a missile that was intercepted above you, there could be lots of very lethal shrapnel falling from the sky that could land on the ground and hurt you, or worse. So you need to wait until you get the all clear. Sometimes you have service in the shelter. We have Wi-Fi in ours recently, but we didn't until a couple days ago, so you kind of just have to time it out about 15 minutes and then leave. And then there's a chance that you come out of the shelter and then immediately there's another siren. So it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of up and down the stairs. Here's the part that's really hard to explain to people who aren't living through this. You get used to it. And I know how that sounds. It sounds insane, but honestly, it's true. You adapt. And whether we like it or not, that's what it means to be Israeli. And you have to. There's no other choice. You learn, which areas have nearby shelters. You learn how much time you have between the warning and then the siren, and you kind of develop this weird war muscle memory. And you hear a siren, you wait, you go back to your life, you try to eat or do a little bit of work or take the dog out or take a shower. It doesn't mean that you're not scared because you get used to it, and it doesn't mean that it's normal, even though it's normalized. I don't know. It's a weird way to think about it. It is our normal, but your body and your brain somehow learn to live through it because there's really no other choice. Straight up. What's the alternative? There's no flights out. I can't leave. I wouldn't want to leave. You can't just freeze up. You have to adapt. And the adaptation is how you survive. And I know that a lot of people back home, especially, friends and family, they care deeply about me. And I'm sure a lot of you watching this can relate if you have made Aliyah and you live in Israel and your family back home. My family, luckily, they understand. My dad's Israeli, so he gets it. He understands why I live here. They were just here recently. They see my life. They understand it. But, your friends and stuff like that might be like, what the hell? Why do you choose to live here? Maybe they think I'm crazy for staying here when I have to run from missiles and keep asking, like, why don't you just move back to America? And I get it.
I get it. Like, I respect it.
It is crazy. It is crazy. It's crazy to live here, okay? But I've built my life here. I've built my career here. I have a life here that I'm so, so, so proud of. And not to get ideological or anything, but there's something bigger at play when you live here and when you understand that you're part of the Jewish people and the state of Israel, and it's very imperfect. And right now it isn't fun. It fucking sucks. I hate war. I hate living through this. I hate that innocent people are suffering. But when I've been here for 15 years, this is where my memories are. This is my home. If you're wondering why people choose to live here, well, first of all, a lot of us don't have any other choice. It's not like the world out in the rest of the world is that safe for Jews. This is where I live. This is where I am. This is where I'm staying. And I think a lot of people, try if you can to imagine that your home was under attack. You wouldn't just leave. I don't think you would. You might say, oh, I would get the hell out of there. First of all, you might not have the option to, and B, you might not want to. It's not as simple as just moving, getting out of here, going back to America. That's not what I want. I chose to live my life here. If I wanted to live in America, I would, but I don't. I want to be here, even though it's scary and can get really ugly and whatnot. And here's the other thing, this is where I am. This is where I'm staying. I am an Israeli Jew. Whether you like that or not, I don't really fucking care. I know a lot of people are watching this right now and are furious that I'm not surrounded by rubble and fire and, Tel Aviv isn't in flames. And honestly, I do not give a fuck. I don't care if you're a hater watching this. I really do not care. If you're watching it to this point in the video, you're really helping me out a lot. Thank you. Thanks, babe. Here's what's wild to me, too. The same people who couldn't even find Iran on a map until the other day, probably still can't, are only furious and have zero idea of what's going on, are only furious about this war because Israel is involved. They weren't furious about 30,000 plus Iranians who were murdered by the regime, by their own rulers. They weren't furious about women being beaten to death because they didn't wear hijab. I mean, it's really comical to me how little of an understanding of the situation or of geopolitics so many of you have. So if you're one of those people watching that's my message to you. I wanted to start this channel for a reason, and it was to humanize Jews and Israelis. Hang on, my mom's calling. She's probably worried. Sorry, Mom. I started this channel because I want to humanize Jews and Israelis. I'm going to keep doing that, whether you like it or not. If you're one of those people who only knows about this situation through TikTok, then your opinion doesn't really matter to me, because this is my life, not yours. So thanks for watching if you still are. And here's the thing, I'm not making this video for sympathy. I'm not making this video to try to make it seem like I have it so bad and I need pity or anything like that, because there's a lot of people that have it way worse right now. There's people who have to sleep in public shelters or in parking lots underground because they don't have a place to go in the middle of the night when there's a siren. There's people who have been called up to reserves or who have lost their lives or their homes because of this. And luckily I'm not one of those people. Oh, hello. Hamuda. I love it. See? Magical, beautiful moments. We love it. I'm not one of those people. I don't have to raise children through this. I have a safe place to be in the middle of the night when there's a siren. There's a lot of people out there that are going through way worse than I am. Okay, guys. Well, in true Israeli fashion, and if this video couldn't get any more real, there's now a siren. So we're gonna go find some shelter. I think we're gonna go to a nearby school and just follow the people. Kind of confused about where to go. Shit, I hate when this happens. Okay, we're gonna go to the shelter here in Ganmeer. And let's hope the siren doesn't go off in the next couple minutes. Let's go. Okay, guys, so you can see here people are kind of packing up their workouts and their stuff and getting ready to go to the shelter. Junie, come on, baby. I know this footage is a little shaky, but it is what it is. Junie, we don't have time. Come on, baby. Earlier today, there was a siren that we didn't get a warning for. And it just started very suddenly, so that was pretty scary. At least this time we have the phone warning, and then we have enough time to go and get into the shelter. This public shelter that I'm going to right now is going to be really crowded, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's go. We got some people celebrating Purim. We've got people in costumes. Shalom banot. We've got all the kiddos. See some people here going into the dog park. There's also an entrance to the miklat from there. So yeah, here we are. Some people can wait outside until the siren starts. Let's go inside and just get in there so that there's not a huge line. Okay, guys, so we're heading down the stairs into the shelter. Here we are. Okay, we found a spot. You can see there's this is a big public shelter. So there's activities for all the kids. Okay, guys, so I think this is as good of a place as ever to close out this video. We are all waiting for a siren. It's pretty loud in here, so I don't know if we'll be able to hear the siren that is outside, but everybody's in here. We're safe. We're all together. And so to all the people who want to destroy the Jewish people or to hate on us, we're thriving. It's Purim. Purim Sameach lekulam. They're going to read the Megillah. Which is absolutely beautiful. So if you like this video, stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.